it's another video. As you can tell, I'm actually not in my usual uniform, but I do like to wear my branded shirt when I am teaching. And then when I'm out and about in the local area, I do try to wear my clothing so that way people can see. But so today we're going to go over one of my few things that I do like to talk about is class planning. There's a couple of different styles of what people call Pilates nowadays, and I don't even technically consider myself fully classical Pilates because I do teach mostly rehab clients right now. So those are a lot of clients who are coming from an injury, a surgery, and stuff like that, and then seeing me to continue their rehabilitation and making sure that they're not getting injured as they continue. But that's my clientele. If you have a different clientele, then you'll kind of adjust to their needs as well because it is basically like personal training. So I want you to keep in mind that there's a couple of different principles of Pilates. If you did learn it in your training, then you can look back on it and whatever notes you had from what you guys discussed. But my favorite one is flow. Flow for me kind of helps plan your classes in advance as well as allow you to adjust quickly when somebody comes in to your class and tells you that they have an injury that's going on or something is hurting today and it's not their usual. So they might need to modify. So one of the ways that I like to teach flow is less changes on the springs if at all possible. So some clients will come in and they're completely fine, no problems. I call those my standard clients. And in a class setting of like up to 10 to 15 nowadays, I used to teach smaller ones, which were more like 6 to 8 class people. But when you consider this larger group of clients that you are teaching, I want you to notice how many people are coming in with anything. Because if everybody's coming in with, like, oh, their knee is hurting for this, you might change everybody for everything, or you might change the flow so that way people are all at the same level of XYZ. Now, with this flow in mind, we're going to try our best not to change the springs too much because a lot of teachers who started out really new tend to change the springs a lot. So you'll come up, change the springs for ab work, go down, go back up, change the springs for arm work, go back down. And then that kind of disrupts the flow of the class. So it kind of feels like you're not getting as much in of a workout for the clients who are coming in for a workout, which is generally most group fitness classes. And then props that you use. So if you're using your box, the box could be on the reformer the whole time. So you may started short ab series on the box. You have them turn around. They're doing ab series in the planks. And then you also can change it so that way they're doing a certain side arm series. So if you're sitting on the side of the box, either straddling the box or changing the box to lengthwise and they're sitting. And then that way they're using arm springs, arm routines, and so on and so forth. That's a quick, easy way to think about it. Another way is I always like to start class on footwork. It warms up people. Some people come in just directly after work, so they've been sitting for 8+ hours a day, plus traffic, which is like 30 to 45 minutes here in LA. So that's the other thing. Now, when I start with footwork, they're just getting that body warmed up. I do have it on a heavier set for most people, unless they tell me they have something going on with their knee or their lower back. Then I tell them maybe you can choose to do this spring instead. So that way it's not as intense and you don't feel like you're hurting yourself. And then as for the footwork, we continue into the bridges, perhaps maybe single leg bridges, or you can go into some mat ab work, which I call the prep to Pilates exercises. So single leg marches, double leg marches, keeping the head down, double leg stretch, so on and so forth. And then you may have them come up. You're doing a short series of standing up exercises into some seated on the box exercises to fully standing kind of exercises. So that way when they leave, they're standing already. So I generally, because I learned from Bassie that we go by a block system, but I do like ending class with a back extension because it opens people's chest after doing a lot of arms and abs. And then it also allows them to be standing by the time we're finished. So that way they're usually doing their roll down or we're going roll down into plank, into push-ups, etc. Other people will not do those and may just choose to do the lunge stretch at the very end. So that's kind of a nice way to think of your flow. If you could do anything, is if you look back at all the exercises you did, how would you change it for a client? So I like to think of it that there's prep poses. So that way, when you are modifying for certain people, those prep poses are the ones that you give them, while the general public will have these usual exercises on these usual springs. And then if you continue, the more advanced people may choose to do this another part of the exercise that makes it a little bit harder. So if you can think of things in 3 levels, it'll help you over time figure out how to program your classes, because the general public is like the happy medium where you don't have to modify a lot of the things you already learned. But then going to the advanced person, you try to figure out what the advanced move is. And if you go to the person who's a little bit brand new or who is dealing with any certain issues, then you go into the easier prep pose of the main pose. So that's a nice way to think of your flow. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm always happy to engage with that. And if you are wanting any actual feedback on anything, you can schedule online with me. I do virtual consultations as well as teacher mentoring, although it's not my particular specialty. I do help other teachers learn a little bit more of their Pilates and how they teach. So if that's something that interests you and maybe you're also BASI trained, then feel free to reach out. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.